Greetings to all my viewers. Today I will be presenting the Indian government's post-budget analytics on infrastructure and logistics for the financial year 23-24, wherein numerous investment opportunities are unfolding, especially in the light of India's ambitious journey in the coming year and the coming decade till 2030. This will give Gati, that is speed, and Shakti, that is power, to India in their Amrit Kaal, that is the next 25 years, till 2047 when it celebrates its 100 years of independence. And all of this will happen only with a very strong, focused, and confident investment coming to India. Infrastats LLP is a consulting and advisory firm covering the 5 major engines of PM Gati Shakti for multimodal connectivity and in the areas of power and energy, railways and metro, multimodal transportation, civil aviation, infrastructure. We are on the web at infrastats.in. You can also reach us on mail at info@infrastats.in, through social media on our WhatsApp number 98203-36218, through a microblogging app at Infrastats India, and on the professional LinkedIn page www.linkedin.com/infrastats. With this short introduction, let's begin. As India celebrates its 75 years of independence, that is Azadi Kam Amrit Mahotsav, it is also honored with the presidency of G20 for the current year, wherein nationwide programs, workshops are being held to showcase India's macroeconomic fundamentals and instill investors' confidence for investment across various sectors in various states of our country and under various ministries, under the strong leadership and guidance of our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and equally supported by a strong cabinet. The vision for next 25 years till 2047 has been rolled out under the vision for Amrit Kaal in the recent Union Budget of FY23-24. The vision is 1. To provide opportunities for citizens with focus on the youth. 2. Growth and job creation. 3. Strong and stable macroeconomic environment. The budget for FY23-24 is a decisive budget before the general elections of 2024, and hence it has further focused on 7 major priorities, also called as the Saptarishi priorities, which are 1. Unleashing the potential of investment and growth. 2. Realizing this through infrastructure spending and investment. 3. Inclusive development for all. 4. Investment, spending, development to reach the last mile in the whole chain or the cycle. 5th, augmenting the power of the youth, who would be the main catalyst and drivers for this Amrit Kaal. 6. Financial sector augmentation and reforms. 7. Growth for the green economy, and all of them moving towards the common goal. My further presentation will be focusing primarily on infrastructure and investment and covering the 2 major domains of railways and logistics. Some of the pointers on the screen are: A. Increase capital investment outlay by 33.4% to INR 10 lakh crores, or approximately $123 billion at current rates. B. To maintain healthy center-state relations, there is a continuation of 50-year interest-free loan to state governments to incentivize them for infrastructure spending and investment. Highest ever capital outlay of INR 2.4 lakh crores, which is approximately $25 billion for the Indian Railways. D. Equal outlay of 2.58 lakh crores, or approximately $31 billion for the roads and highways sector. 100 transport infrastructure projects identified for end-to-end connectivity for ports, coal, steel, and the fertilizer sector. F. Urban infrastructure upgradation and modernization in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities of India through creation of a separate UIDF, or also called as the Urban Infrastructure Development Fund. Let's now quickly run through the strong macroeconomic fundamentals which are already covered in previous sections. For the figures, fiscal consolidation is happening with fiscal deficit projected to drop to 5.9% for FY23-24 from 9.2% in FY2021. Revenue deficit is projected to drop to 2.9% for FY23-24 from 7.3% in FY2021, while the primary deficit is projected to drop to 2.3% for FY23-24 from 5.8% in FY2021. India has adopted the GST, also called as the Goods and Service Tax regime, from FY16-17, and the GST monthly revenues have bounced back to impressive levels of approximately 1.6 lakh crores in FY21-22 versus approximately 1 lakh crore in FY18-19. Some more macroeconomic fundamentals that will boost investor confidence is the increasing capex by the Union government. It is almost 4x for FY23-24 vis-a-vis FY15-16. The government's serious and concerted effort towards revamping of banking sector, especially in the light of various bank collapses elsewhere in the world, has resulted in improving the NPS, non-performing assets, reducing to 5% in September 2022 vis-a-vis 8.2% in March of 2020. Last but not the least, India continues to maintain a healthy forex reserves close to $600 billion US dollars for 3 quarters of FY22-23, which is sufficient enough to cover for 9 months of our import bills. The WPI, or the wholesale price index, converges, or rather is converging to CPI, that is the consumer price index, which is another healthy sign of the present state of the economy. Moving forward, my today's presentation is primarily centered around India's most ambitious ever flagship program rollout, namely Pradhan Mantri's Gati Shakti National Master Plan for Multimodal Connectivity. A quick recap of this program. The Union Cabinet gave its approval to PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan for Multimodal Connectivity to various economic zones on the 21st of October 2021. PM Gati Shakti, that is speed and power, focuses on India's citizens, industries, manufacturers, farmers, villagers, among the other sectors of the society. PM Gati Shakti shall break the departmental silos and institutionalize holistic planning for stakeholders across major infra projects. 16 ministries have been integrated to implement and monitor almost a whopping 100 lakh crores or 1,224 billion or approximately 1.2 trillion US dollars. Today's mantra is work for progress, wealth for progress, plan for progress, and preference for progress. PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan will take the confidence of India to the pledge of Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliance. This master plan will give impetus Gati Shakti to the 21st century of India. Some of the key pointers to realize this is Indian Railways to decongest 51% of its total network by 2024-25 after the completion of critical projects including DFC, that is Dedicated Freight Corridor projects. Cargo handling by Indian Railways to increase to 1600 million metric tons per annum by 24-25. Bharatmala Pariyojana, another major flagship program under the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, to see almost 2 lakh kilometer route of roads and highways network to be achieved by 24-25. Sagarmala Pariyojana under Ministry of Shipping, Ports and Waterways to see cargo handling of 1759 million metric tons by 24-25. As mentioned earlier, Indian government's two largest ministries have budgeted for an ambitious 31.66 billion US dollars and 29.38 billion US dollars of capital expenditure as seen above. Ministry of Road Transport at 31.66 and Ministry of Railways at 29.38. In terms of INR, it is 2,58,605 crores for MORTH and 2,40,000 crores for Ministry of Railways. Further drilling down, presented above is the snapshot of the 31 billion US dollars spread over various flagship programs and initiatives of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, spearheaded and on an impressive growth path for the past 8 years under the strong backing of Honorable PM Shri Narendra Modi ji and professionally managed by the Honorable Cabinet Minister Shri Nitin Gadkari ji. The largest chunk continues to be under the National Highways Authority of India, NHAI, with 19.86 billion US dollars out of the 31 billion USD. 100% subsidiary of NHAI, namely National Highways Logistics Management Company Limited or NHLML, has been spearheading the rollout of the first mile and the last mile connectivity projects with other modal transport wings of other ministries, namely Civil Aviation, Ports and Shipping, Railways and Inland Waterways, with the sole purpose to improve the logistics efficiency and bring down the costs, which are currently around 14% of India's GDP, which is the highest amongst other nations in the world. The target is to bring it down to 8% in the coming 5 to 7 years. We'll be talking more on this in the subsequent slide. The second chunk is for all construction works under the Roads and Wings Department, which is around 8.95 billion US dollars. Here I would like to draw attention of all watching this presentation towards SARDP, which is Specially Accelerated Road Development Program for the Northeastern States of India under the Look East policy of the Union Government. The impetus is on accelerated road and connectivity improvement programs for the agricultural and other products to reach the marketplace in minimum turnaround time, and for which almost 1.29 billion US dollars capex target has been set aside. Same figures you can see in terms of INR in lakhs of crores. So NHI at 1,62,207 crores, followed by 73,113 crores for the roads wing. And for SARDP, it is almost 10,565 crores. For more segmental details and analytics, the above breakup table is presented. As visible, NHAI sees an increased spending by over 21% over budgetary estimates for the year FY22-24, while under the road wings, we see an increase by almost 91%. The overall increase in capex spending for this ministry is around 38%. The next mode of transport, which is the Indian Railways network, also has the highest ever capital expenditure provision to the tune of almost 2.4 lakh crores, with additional 0.2 lakh crores for externally aided projects totaling to 2.6 lakh crores or almost 32.23 billion US dollar. The various flagship programs and initiatives of Ministry of Railways are presented, as can be seen on the screen. NHSRCL, or the National High Speed Rail Corporation, tops the list at $4.92 billion for FY23-24, wherein the major component funding from external borrowings is to come. JICA is the lead funding agency for HSR projects in India. This is followed by the rolling stock, which tops at 4.60 billion US dollars. Construction of new railway lines to provide more and affordable connectivity to the masses as well as for freight and goods movement at $3.76 billion through track doubling. Then we have dedicated freight corridor at 3.36 billion USD. Old and aging tracks got to be renewed, so provision of $2.12 billion are for track renewals. Customer amenities improvement and modernization at 1.63 billion US dollar, wherein tier 1 and tier 2 cities railway station redevelopments are going to take place. PPP or public private partnership projects at 1.29 billion US dollars also see a substantial amount of provisioning coming here. And as mentioned earlier, the Union government's big push towards green and energy conservation sees an outlay of 1.22 billion US dollar for production of energy efficient three-phase electric locomotives and 0.9 or almost 1 billion US dollar for railway electrification projects. Indian Railways is steadily marching towards its goal of 100% railway electrification by 2023, after which all diesel traction units would be withdrawn and to be used only in remote and far-flung areas of the country. Signal and telecom also sees significant provision of 0.51 billion US dollar, whereby Govt, which is the indigenous efforts towards TCAS, train collision avoidance system, would be speedily implemented. The same figures in terms of INR crores is visible here. Going deeper into the sectoral spending and percentage growth in spending for budgetary year 23-24 versus budget year 22-23, rolling stock emerges at the number 1 spot with a massive 371% increase and budgetary provision for 4.6 billion US dollars. For those unaware, Indian Railways has already embarked on Atmanirbhar Bharat program, which is the indigenization and modernization of rolling stock manufacturing in India through their various loco manufacturing units. The most talked about Vande Bharat or Train 18 semi-high-speed rail already saw great bidding by both domestic and international players, including the most recent entry of the Russian entity under the name Transmash Holding in JV with RVNL. 2 mega RFPs or tenders for manufacturing and maintenance of 9,000 HP 1200 numbers and 12,000 HP 800 numbers energy efficient electric locos was very well participated by industry majors and bidding concluded. Another emerging area is improvement in customer amenities, which also sees a very big increase of almost 394%. This is the spending primarily towards railway station redevelopment to improve passenger comfort, provide world-class infrastructure and amenities to take care for coming 2 decades. Green energy push is visible to the tune of almost 2 billion US dollars for production of energy efficient 3-phase electric locos and railway electrification projects. The overall capex increase for the entire railways budget is almost 78% over the previous budgetary year of 22-23. We now present a deeper insight into the logistics domain. India's current logistics expenditure is almost 14% of its GDP, which is very high, and a target set is to reduce this to 8% in the coming 5 to 7 years. As highlighted earlier, PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan for Multimodal Connectivity would be a game changer, and already a lot of efforts have been put into this area. Shown above is the big push given by Ministry of Road Transport and Highways for providing multimodal connectivity to various economic zones by 24-25. Bharatmala flagship program comprise Bharatmala flagship program under the road connectivity component comprises of five major infrastructure linkages for improving the first mile, last mile connectivity and to speed the transit times by constructing expressways and greenfield corridors to decongest the existing network. These are in the form of construction of 1. National corridors, 2. Economic corridors, 3. Expressways, 4. Greenfield corridors, and 5th. Development of Northeast regions for overall connectivity improvement. Total outlay proposed is around 45,983 kilometers, out of which 27,524 kilometers of works have been awarded to the contractors and developers. Almost 10,393 kilometers out of awarded length are under construction. The cumulative overall progress is 38% of the total works awarded. So as can be seen in the legend, the blue ones is the total proposed kilometers, the amber ones or the orange colored ones are the awarded lengths, and the gray ones are under the construction lengths. So economic corridors, national corridors, there is all round development under all these five major programs or the sub programs. Continuing further, in order to improve logistics efficiency, the next thrust has been given under the Bharatmala flagship programs, which is to construct 35 MMLPs or multimodal logistic parks across the length and breadth of the country. The state-wise breakup of proposed MMLPs is given above. Gujarat tops the list with 5 MMLPs, followed by 4 in Maharashtra, 3 in Punjab, 2 each on the east coast of India in Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and Tamil Nadu, while 2 each on the west coast of India and the internal area of Haryana, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Pre-feasibility is underway at 7 proposed MMLPs, DPRs at 4 MMLPs, while suitable land and site identification is already underway at 15 MMLPs. RFPs for development of MMLPs at 4 locations, namely Chennai, Bengaluru, Nagpur and Indore were initiated, out of which bid submissions closed for all 4 of them, out of which 2 bids have been awarded, one at Chennai and the second one at Indore. Very soon, award of work for Bengaluru and Nagpur will be announced once the technical and financial evaluation rounds are completed in another month's time. All of this is under the Bharatmala flagship program, MMLP component. The last in the infrastructure linkages for providing multimodal connectivity under Bharatmala flagship program is the Port Connectivity Initiative, whereby the logistics efficiency improvement is to take place in the EXIM trade through major ports on the east and west coast of India, as well as major inland water ports on the mighty river Ganga. The complete state-wise all India rollout of port connectivity projects are presented above. There are a total of 68 numbers of port connectivity projects currently underway with total length of 2031 kilometers for construction and connecting 36 large, medium and small ports on the east and west coast. Andhra Pradesh on the east coast tops the list with 24 port connectivity projects with a total length of 1334 kilometers and covering the 5 ports of Visakhapatnam, Krishnapatnam, Gangavaram, Kakinada and Kakinada Anchorage. This is followed by Kerala on the west coast with 11 port connectivity projects having a total length of 107 kilometers covering the ports of Kochi, Baipur and Azikal. Tamil Nadu on the east coast also has 9 port connectivity projects with a total length of 160 kilometers covering the 5 ports of Chennai, Kadalur, Tuticorin, Ennore, and Kattupalli. Last but not the least, Maharashtra on the west coast has 4 port connectivity projects with total length of 148 kilometers and covering the ports of JNPT, Jaigarh, and Reddy. We now move on to the next equally ambitious Sagarmala Pariyojana, wherein infrastructure linkages on the seaports and inland water ports is under implementation. The targets for 2024-25 are to increase the cargo movement on all national waterways, NWs what they call, to 95 million metric tons per annum, increase the cargo movement from 9 to 29 mmtp on the river Ganga, that is NW1, and round the year movement of vessels between Varanasi NW1 and Sadia NW2, Badarpur and Karimganj, that is NW16, through Indo-Bangladesh Protocol route. It is targeted to increase the cargo traffic at ports to 1759 million metric tons per annum by 24-25. One big step in this direction is setting up of 6 greenfield ports at Vadhavan, Bhavanupadu, Machilipatnam, Honavar, Kakinada Gateway, and Kadalur. To further improve the logistics efficiency for the first mile and last mile connectivity at major ports across India, Ministry of Railways have taken up prioritized construction of rail port connectivity projects, details of which are given above. State of Odisha tops the list with 11 projects, followed by Andhra Pradesh at 10, totaling to more than 50% of 52 such projects. The focus here is to augment the port connectivity rail link with the main trunk line. Plans are also to integrate with the dedicated freight corridor, namely the EDFC, that is the Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor, and the WDFC, that is the Western Dedicated Freight Corridors, various multimodal logistics park, and PFTs, or the private freight terminals. Railways have also come out with a separate plan for Gati Shakti terminal operators to operate on all these rail port connectivity links or even on the main trunk routes. Moving further, major ports in India have embarked on massive expansion and modernization programs covering various activities, prominent among them being augmentation and or construction of new oil jetties, mechanized fertilizer handling units, new LNG terminals, augmentation or construction of new container terminals, ro-ro terminals, augmentation and or construction of new coal berths or terminals, and cruise terminals as well as passenger cruise terminals. All these are focused towards improving the efficiency of EXIM logistics. As on date, there are more than 100 plus such programs across all the major and mid-sized ports of India. West coast of India tops the list with as many as 55 projects currently underway and with likely completion by 2024. State of Gujarat tops the list with 19 projects, followed by Andhra Pradesh, followed and Tamil Nadu, each at 14 projects. The various state-wise projects are presented below. So Goa and Maharashtra on the west coast, Karnataka again on the west coast at almost 36 projects underway for port modernization and improvement. In a bid to boost inland water transport and internal logistics efficiencies, Inland Waterways Authority of India has proposed creating vital infrastructure in the northeastern region of India under the Look East policy, as well as promote IBP, that is the Indo-Bangladesh Protocol routes. Some of the activities undertaken and proposed are given above. First, fairway development in Sirajganj to Daikowa stretch on the IBP route. Permanent terminal at Sonamura on Gumti River in the state of Tripura on a protocol route 9 and 10. Permanent terminal at Maya Dulian on Ganga River on protocol route number 5 and 6. Terminal at Jojigopa on National Waterways 2 and IBP route, multimodal inland water terminal, proposed along with integrated MMLP at Joji-Gopa. The detailed project report preparation is in progress. Upgradation of Karimganj and Badarpur terminals on NW16 Barak River. Capacity augmentation of navigation channel on NW1 on the Haldia-Varanasi stretch of Ganga-Bhagirathi-Hooghly River system. Kaladan multimodal trade and transit project at Haldia near Kolkata on the eastern coast, and going further to Sitwe in Myanmar, which is the sea route, further linking under the inland water transport to Paletwa, and from Paletwa by road transport to Indo-Myanmar border, which is in the state of Mizoram. Having sufficiently discussed in length the logistics efficiency improvement across roads, highways, ports, inland waterways, road and rail connectivity programs, we now move on to railways being the largest network in terms of passenger and freight carried across the length and breadth of the country. As mentioned earlier and repeated once again, Ministry of Railways has embarked on an ambitious program to make a modal shift in freight cargo from road to rail, and the target is to handle 1,600 million metric tons of freight by 24-25. Almost 35,000 kilometers of existing railway network, which is about 51% of the total network, is to be decongested by completion of critical additional lines, or normally called as third line projects, which carry close to 96% of total railway freight. Completion of balance stretches of WDFC and EDFC, that is the western and eastern dedicated freight corridors of railways running along the existing high density freight train network. DPRs are already underway for construction of additional 4,000 kilometers of new lines on east-west, north-south and east coast corridors for freight movement to be taken up on the PPP route, that is the public-private partnership. Since the railways hierarchy is comprised of various zones encompassing 2 or more states, presented above are the zone-wise details of new line, doubling of existing lines and gauge conversion of balance meter gauge networks for targeted completion by 2025. Gauge conversion account for almost 2,800 kilometers, out of which 900 plus kilometers are operational. Doubling of existing lines account for 12,000 plus kilometers, out of which 3,000 plus kilometers are operational. The present slide is seen for the various railway zones. Just to repeat, Southeast Central Railway, Western Railway, North Eastern Railway, so on and so forth. The yellow ones are the total project lengths which have been planned for gauge conversion, and the blue ones are the ones out of the total outlay, the completed reaches or the lengths. So Southeast Central Railway is performing well, followed by Northeast region, East Central Railway, and Western and Western plus Northwestern Railway. More than 3,000 kilometers of the total scope of 12,000 kilometers of single line railway tracks have been doubled. A total of 18 railway zones and railway undertakings such as IRCON, RVNL rights have embarked on this long journey to complete the balanced scope of almost 9,000 kilometers by 24-25. RVNL or Rail Vikas Nigam Limited, a PSU under Ministry of Railways, is undertaking a large chunk of almost 3,700 kilometers of track doubling projects, followed by South Western Railway with 700 plus kilometers and East Coast Railway at 688 kilometers of railway doubling projects. East Coast Railway is significant since it also augments the freight hauling capacity along with the EDFC, which is on a fast track towards completion by 2024. The total scope and operational length comparatives are presented in great detail for the viewers in the slide given above. These are the various zones there are almost 16 railway zones and 2 railway PSUs who are working exclusively in this area. VNL is one, IRCON is the second one. We now come to the end of the various infrastructural linkages under construction and those operationalized by the 3 pioneering ministries of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Railways and Ports, Shipping and Waterways. The balanced presentation will be focusing more on the railway segment. So we move further now. Just a recap for the viewers on the segmental capex for Ministry of Railways. Rolling stock budgeting is done by the Railway Board within Ministry of Railways, and they typically have 2 flagship initiatives called as the program deliveries and new acquisitions. Program deliveries comprise of long-running projects, some of them for a decade or more. New acquisitions are budgeted and they get administrative approval comprising of expenditure to be sourced from own funds or from IEBR, that is international and domestic external borrowing, which is normally financed by IRFC, the financing arm of the Indian Railways, also called as the Indian Railways Finance Corporation. Further slicing of railway stock budget has been done. So, as mentioned earlier, it comprises of flagship initiatives, program deliveries, and new acquisition. Program deliveries comprise of long-running projects, for some of them for a decade or more. New acquisitions are budgeted. So we have seen above. The detailed breakup of program deliveries is on your screen. As you can see, Wagons external manufacturing has the maximum budget of 1.21 billion US dollars. Understandably so, since the railways have set a target for 1600 million metric tons per annum freight haulage by 24-25 and need to manufacture new wagons and upgrade the existing ones. This is followed by the state-owned CLW, or also called as the Chittaranjan Locomotive Works, having the second highest budget of almost $1 billion for manufacturing of 3-phase electric locos, including the energy efficient ones, which we talked about in the previous slides. The third highest budget of 0.87 billion US dollar is for manufacturing of 3-phase electric locos outside the railway's own production units. That means through private players. The top 5 major players in locomotive manufacturing have wholeheartedly participated in the bidding process for 9000 HP and 12,000 HP locos in FY22-23 and will continue to do so. At the same time, in our opinion, you shall see more players entering the bidding market and emerging as the successful bidders. The next in the order is almost 0.72 billion US dollars for carriages comprising of LHB coaches, Vande Bharat coaches and the metro coaches. So further breakup across various coach manufacturing units. ICF at Chennai receives $0.53 billion of budgeting. This is where Vande Bharat or the Train 18 first round of coaches are being manufactured, and the next round also will be manufactured here. To conclude on my today's presentation, presented above is the railway zone-wise budget for FY23-24. The idea of presenting this zone-wise budget is to give the viewers and prospective investors the big ticket avenues across the country for a focused investment directly through the IEBR route or indirectly through investment in major OEMs, original equipment manufacturers and service providers for the Indian Railways. Viewers are encouraged to reach out to us for any questions they may have, and our team would be happy to answer them. Thanks a lot for your patient listening. Quick recap of all these railway zone-wise budget. Northern Railways, including National High Speed Rail, tops at 53,961 crores, followed by Western Railway at 10,998 crores, South Central Railway at 7,400 crores, East Coast almost at the same level at 7,400, North Central Railway 6,647, East Central Railway 5,700 approximately, South East Central Railway 4,000 crores, so on and so forth. So thank you viewers for your patient listening. See you soon in my next video log. Goodbye for now. Till then.